Welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. The show is designed to give you solutions to your day-to-day management and leadership problems. It's hosted by Matthew Haddock, a frontline manager and leader with over 25 years of experience. If you're ready, then let's get on with the show.
Hello and welcome back to the Manager Matt podcast show. Yes, it's 2026. Wow, a new year. Now, obviously, if you're on the Manager Matt podcast show, that my podcast is around leadership in a practical, human and real sense. I'm your host, Matthew Haddock. Now, if you're listening in early January, then you know what it's going to be like. You're going to be the peak of optimism. You know that season where you're going to go out there, new notebook, new planner, big initiatives. And by the time you get to mid-January, well, it's welcome to quit day. And we know that Blue Monday isn't far around the corner. That momentum usually gets a bit quieter. You know, where you're going to go to the gym the first time, you're going to get in there, you're going to eat right, you're not going to drink. But leaderships are the same. You end up not bothering with the gym. It's a lot quieter. The leadership book you bought lays there unopened. And the big resolution quietly dies. Well, today's episode is about avoiding that trap. I'm going to share with you 5 New Year resolutions that leaders should be committed to in 2026. But more than that, and I know there is more than that, we're going to look at how we can make them stick long after that motivation has faded, long after the bottle of wine has been opened and the takeaway is on the table. Because leadership isn't changed by an intervention on its own. It's about having repeated behaviours that you can keep going and repeat. So let's get straight into it. Resolution number 1. Stop managing the problems and start managing the patterns. Now, most leaders start the new year saying, I need to be more proactive, I need to be more visible. I'm going to get on top of these problems, I'm going to get stuff done. But what they actually do is, what they do is they get involved in trying to solve problems faster. Or more commonly, they start to get involved with the next level down and, of course, try to fix a problem, but they get busy, they get distracted, and you're back where you started. So in 2026, what you need to do is stop the reaction to individual issues. What does that mean? Well, there's always urgent stuff to do. And I don't want you to kind of run off and go, oh, stop doing it. There's no point in serving that customer anymore. No, you're not going to start not answering the phones. But remember, reacting to everyone means that you will react to no one. So look at the trends that you can see everywhere. Instead of just those urgent problems, look at where those trends are. And what you've got to start doing is start spotting patterns. For instance, late deliveries for a certain supplier all the time that you maybe slipped under your radar. Operational lines that have small stoppages, not the massive drama breakdowns that everyone knows about, the repeated small stoppages and the repeated mistakes, tiny mistakes, the patterns that you sometimes don't see. So use your time to stop looking at those problems and start to look for the patterns. Use that longer lens of data-driven trend spotting. Using this will get you in a much better position and, more importantly, will look at waste reduction. Now, how do you start this habit? Well, once a week, pick a slot, say 15 minutes max, and ask yourself, what problems have showed up this week? What are the issues we've had? And what are the systems allowed them, or how has the system allowed those problems to slip through? Start to write 1 sentences. Look at why leaders quit those habits is the important thing. So if you start to track and look at where these problems are, you'll start to get to the bottom of them. You'll feel like you're fixing things at last, because what you're not doing is getting the fires put out and preventing them. You're just becoming a firefighter if you just go after problems. So looking at that, and after quitting day, what do? Well, make sure you've kept your promise of your one slot a week where you go to it. Maybe it's a Friday meeting, maybe it's a planning meeting, it's the end of the week review, but make sure you keep it on your agenda. Look at that new habit. Look at how you are going to be looking, not for problems, but for patterns. Resolution number 2, have those conversations you've been avoiding. Yes, we know it. Every leader has one. That conversation, that performance issue, that behaviour. Let's have no names in this one. That relationship that's not quite there, it's got the trust that's been eroded. Most leaders put these things off. Maybe you should have done it in December, but you've got it on your New Year's list. I'll deal with that properly this year. And then January disappears, and of course you haven't had the conversation. So let's reframe 2026. Don't aim to be brave, aim to be early. Early conversations are the calm ones. Late conversations are emotional. So look at how you can be early intervening. Yes, you might have put this off for a while, but there's no time like the present. How do you make those habits stick? Well, use that 48-hour rule. If something has bothered you and more than 48 hours, it deserves some airtime. It needs looking at. Book in when your emotions are low, not when they are high. So when you want to have these conversations, make sure that you're booking them in the time where you are calm, you are collective, you are focused on having those conversations, and make sure you sound them off. Make sure that what you're doing is not reacting to a habit. Look for behaviours. Look for behaviour. So when you're looking at something going wrong, don't say that person's has an attitude. Look at what behaviours that person's done and then use the feedback model to go and have that conversation. Because what reality will mean, you'll get much more confidence and much more traction if you definitely start to have those awkward conversations, if you like, that you've been avoiding. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is going to get bigger and bigger and you'll never get round to doing it. So go to action, call to action, do it, get it, because sometimes it's not even that bad. The conversations you'll have will be a lot easier than conversations you think you're going to have. Resolution number 3, leaders are built around building leadership that is not dependent. So what do I mean there? So you need to build leaders that are not dependent on you. How do you do that? Well, those brutal questions you need to ask yourself in 2026. If I was off for 2 weeks, what would break? And if the answer is everything, you're not leading. You're propping up. Great leaders don't create followers. They create capacity. The shift is that you stop asking, how do I solve this? And start asking, who needs to learn this? Because, as we said in the first one, if you're solving problems all the time, they're going to look to you to solve problems. When you're giving people leadership skills and not dependency, they start to learn how to do this themselves. And you can't just go cold turkey. I know the turkey's probably long gone because we're past Christmas, but you've got to give them the exposure and time to make sure that they are looking at how they can solve the problems. Who needs to learn? You've got so many people who are like superheroes, swoop in, sort the problem out and disappear. You need to start to look at how you can give those people the skills to do that without you. So how do you make that habit stick? Well, every time somebody brings you a problem, ask one coaching question before offering help. And these are the 2 coaching questions you can use, or one of these. What have you already tried? So that's a good question. What have you already tried? If they've tried nothing, then why are they at your door? What do you think the best option is? Great question of someone. They've come with you a problem and you just turn and go, okay, what have you tried before? And what do you think is the best approach? Bite your tongue for 10 seconds, listen, use the 2 ears, and you will find that people have the solutions if you've given them the space. Leaders quit this habit because they think it's too slow at first. They think it's better for them to do it. I can get it done quick. But why is it worth sticking at it? Because in the long term, that speed will come and you'll get less dependency and more effective leaders at the right level. Resolution number 4, protect your energy like it's a business asset. Now, here's the unpopular truth. Burnout leaders don't make good decisions. We all know that. And yet most leaders treat energy like an unlimited resource. So in 2026, the resolution isn't work less. No, it's to work smarter with the energy you've got. Now, leadership needs to upgrade their thinking on this. So the good leaders need to know when you do your best thinking. You know what time of day or what time of week you're the best thinking at. Could be a morning, could be an afternoon, could be an evening. But make sure you use that time and energy at the right one. Stop scheduling admin when you're in your peak performance areas. So you know what time you're meant to be performing and you manage to use that energy at the wrong time. Don't do that. Make sure you're using the energy at the right time and get the performance right. Stop rewarding exhausted commitment. So what do I mean by that? You reward yourself by the extra long week you've worked, the extra day, the staying back late at work. Don't reward that. That's the worst thing you can do. Make sure you know when you need to go. Make sure you know when you need to unwind. That might be just having a walk at dinner time. It might be leaving on time to make sure you get home to see the family, but make sure you do it, because the more energy gets drained, the worse performance you're going to give as a leader. Now, how do you make this stick? Do a 2-week energy audit. So what I'm thinking is, when are you sharpest? Think to yourself, when am I sharpest? And when do I get drained? When is the time when I'm drained? Then you know you can audit, and you know then what you would be best using your time for. Leaders quit this habit pretty quick, because as we all are humans, we all feel guilty. We all think we're under the microscope. They all look at us and go, oh, if I'm the boss and I'm leaving early, they're going to think this, that and other. They're not, to be honest. Most people don't care. And the ones who do, well, they're just tittle-tattling out there. But reframe it. Your energy is the thing that's going to make it better. Everyone else's performance is going to be better. You're going to multiply them if you've got your energy to give it. So it's not being selfish. It's being responsible with your energy. So protect your energy like it's your business asset. Number 5, be consistent, not intense. Now, this is a great one. This is a big one. Most resolutions fail because leaders go too big too soon. Big launches, big speeches, big expectations, and then nothing. So in this 2026 rule, consistency beats intensity every time. 1 weekly, 1-to-1 done well, tick. 1 visual leadership behaviour repeated, tick. 1 message reinforced again and again, tick. How that means is that how this is affecting you is that you are going to be consistent in what you do. You're not going to be this intensive person who's going to burn out and not get involved again. You're going to make them stick. That's how culture actually changes, by being consistent. Now, how do we make this habit stick and get past that quit day? How do we do it? Well, we make sure that to do the things we say, and we don't shirk away from those habits by making sure we are intentionally doing something. So if I talk about being consistent, if it's a meeting that you're going to have and at that time you're going to turn up, you consistently turn up. If it's about, asking a better question or getting people to be more involved, you make sure they come, you make sure they're there. Because what you'll get is people come for the first 1 or 2 and then they don't come again. But being consistent with them, you turn up, and make sure that builds forward. So in February, March, it's there. I've said a number of times on this podcast, anything in that's repeatable, so any production, it should be boring and consistent, because it's repeating an item consistently. Customers would rather have consistency than intensity. They won't want a person who's going to return a call and then not be in touch with them for weeks. They want someone who's consistently going to be there when they need them. They need a supplier that consistently delivers on time. They need a person that's consistently showing up and consistently doing the work. So there's the 5. So let's start from the top. Number 1, stop managing problems, start managing patterns. Number 2, resolution, have the conversation you've been avoiding. Number 3, build leaders, not dependents. Number 4, protect your energy like it's your business habit. And number 5, be consistent, not intense. So as we head into 2026, I'm sure you have got so many challenges you want to go, and I'm sure you're full of energy. But remember, look at those 5, have a think about it. Pick one of them if you want that you're going to start with and start to do it. Become boring. I know it's people don't want to hear it, because boring leaders have good habits. They're the ones that they stick to it, and they will listen to the people around them. They will take information in. They will be repeatable. And then you can get over quit day or Blue Monday. And when real leaders start to do this, they really can see the benefit of those 5. Well, that's the first one for 2026. Thank you so much for listening. As ever, would love to hear your feedback on the show at my email, which is managermattpodcast@gmail.com, or anywhere else you get me, LinkedIn or any of the socials that you might see me, or put it wherever you get this feed from. Put your comments in there. I'd love to read them. Well, that's it for Manager Matt this week. Thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening to this Manager Matt podcast. We hope you found it interesting, helpful and actionable. One last thing, please leave a quick review on iTunes or with your podcast provider, as it helps to spread the word of Manager Matt. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the podcast. And if you did like anything in particular, send an email to managermattpodcast@gmail.com or visit managermatt.co.uk for more content. Feedback is a gift, so let's keep giving. See you next week.